All right. What is up? We are live. The duels are over, and it wasn't without controversy. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But of course, the poll question is going to have to do with that as soon as I put it up here. Who should have won? Eric Jones or the two car? We'll just go with that because it's easier to type. So we'll start the poll right there with that one. But before we jump into all of that, let's do the rundown. The second duel, of course, the one that probably everybody is going to be talking about, was sort of officially won by one Austin Cindric. Eric Jones ends up in second place, followed by Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoy, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Blaney, John Hunter Nemechek, and Christopher Bell. Race, of course, ends under caution, and that is what pretty much everybody is going to be talking about, where they award the win to Cindric because at the moment of caution, he was ahead of Jones. Jones was ahead of him at the start finish line. If they had thrown the caution after they crossed the start finish line, it wouldn't have affected the safety at all. So that is going to be a point of contention that we'll talk about. But before we get to that, let's get to the first dual win where Bubba Wallace won the race. And almost immediately, all right, Bubba Wallace won. Then they go immediately to Dale Jr. and the 40 car and Justin Allgaier, and they did like a 10-minute promo for them. So that was interesting how that played out over there. But the rest of your finishes for that one, William Byron finishes in second place. Ty Dillon finishes in third. Toward the end of that race, Ty Dillon was trying to pass the 45, goes up wide, and ends up backing up the top lane there, which consisted of Ross Chastain, who was behind him. Then Tyler Reddick finishing there, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Justin Allgaier, and Kyle Busch rounding out your top 10 there. Justin Allgaier advances in that one. Martin Truex Jr. advances in that one. JJ Yaley, Chandler Smith will miss the race. Elio Castroneves will get in, but is going to have to use that provisional. And Anthony Alfredo and BJ McLeod were eliminated in the other race. Jimmy Johnson and Corey LaJoy transfer in race number 2. All right. That was kind of a brief rundown. We will jump into it and see what you guys want to talk about. Like I said, poll question: who should have won that second heat race, Eric Jones or the two car? Right now, 75-25. Dale Jr. is in. Hell yes, says Nathan. That's going to be a huge story, but it was just so funny that like Bubba Wallace wins the race and immediately they covered it for like a real quick second, and then they jumped and did like a longer deal on the 40 car, making it in. Which I mean, you understand it as far as media wise goes. Dale Jr. still moves the sport more so than anybody else, but it was it was kind of funny. But it is what it is. Bummer, but the right call, says Robert Stone. I can agree with that to an extent. So here, I agree with you that because they threw the caution when they threw it. It is letter of the law, the right call. However, it wouldn't have hurt them at all to just hold the caution for a split second, let them cross the start finish line, then throw it. That way, it's nice, clean, it's not messy. This ended up being messy. And a lot of people are going to be upset about this. So just hold the caution because safety wise, the wreck's way behind. They're not going. They've got plenty of time. It's a big track. They got plenty of time to slow down before they get over there, and it becomes a danger to anybody. So the bad call was the person throwing the caution should have just waited a beat. Like I don't know why they had to be Johnny on the spot right there on the last lap. Like on the last lap, if it's not going to be a safety issue, just hold on to it for a beat. But that's the way it ended up. But that is the poll question. Get your votes in if you would like to. I think we have 10-ish teams going to backups, says Cody Ledger. Yeah, so Carnage on the last lap, too. I know Kyle Larson was in. I didn't see everybody. I know SVG was in it. The 20 car was in it. I saw Kyle Larson got a piece of it, but a ton of cars back there got a ton of it as far as that goes. So that was super interesting. I understand the caution coming out for safety, but you were telling me I wouldn't have waited 100 yards to go to the checker flag. That's exactly what I'm saying, Escobar. I don't understand the rationale in that situation to throw the caution when they threw it. And nothing against Cindric. Congratulations to him for winning the race. But honestly, the 43 car, if it wins that race, the 43 car hasn't won there since I think 1979. I think they said it on the broadcast. I think it was 1970, but 1970 something. That's going to be a much bigger story. NASCAR is going to get a lot more traction out of it. They really screwed this one up. They screwed it up so bad. Just wait a minute. Why don't we have competent officials working in the sport? Just wait half of a beat. Let them cross. Let them cross the start finish line, then throw the caution. Like what? Mental midgets do we have doing the officiating? Like this has happened so many times. Slap Shoes said something to the extent on Twitter that it should be studied at how NASCAR can continuously throw cautions 100 feet before the start finish line, and it should be because it's just idiotic. So I mean, it's just so bad that they consistently manage to somehow do this. They should have held off the caution and it wouldn't have hurt anyone, says Lloyd Barnes, which is kind of what I just went off about. So, yeah, 100% agree with you. Concerned for the 23% who chose Jones, says Thunder. Escobar, of course, Larson got in a wreck at a plate track. Hopefully his car didn't get hit too hard. They might be able to save that one. Alex Bowman, I don't know what Kevin Harvick was talking about. So that's another issue I want to talk about too. Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer doing the glazing of them getting rid of the grass at Daytona. We saw cars because cars flip because of the grass there. We saw cars flip last year on asphalt. So you can easily make a counter argument that the cars at least have somewhere softer to land if you've got grass there, because we saw. I think it was at Michigan last year or wherever Josh Berry had his wreck. It was completely on asphalt and he flipped too. So I don't buy this argument about it's safer to have pavement or whatever, because we saw cars flip on pavement last year. So I don't know. It is what it is. It'd be interesting to see the results of how hard it is when a car gets flipped and hits that pavement versus how hard a car flips and hits that grass. So you can make all kinds of arguments for it, but whatever. NASCAR wants to push that line. We'll let NASCAR push that line as well. I'm fine with the call, but what a bummer, says one wise guy. Probably a reasonable take. Right now, we're in an unreasonable mindset because it just happened. I think a lot of people are. I am personally. I think it was stupid. I think it was a terrible call. They should have just waited till they cross the start finish line, but I'll get over it by tomorrow. But right now, I'm kind of salty about it. That's why I wanted to come on and be salty. Eric Sipes, NASCAR can put whatever they want in the record books. Eric Jones won that race, and everyone knows it. That was BS. It was a bad call. They should have just waited half a beat, then throw the caution. It was, in my opinion, and I'm affecting the poll, but it is what it is. I thought it was a terrible call. But letter of the law, they threw the caution, and the moment of caution, Austin Cindric was ahead. So letter of the law, it's the right call, but they should have just waited for like half a beat before they threw the caution. Let's see. Sent out a NASCAR tweet. I appreciate you, Jason Ratcliffe. It was 100% a NASCAR is going to NASCAR moment. Thank you very much there. I will jump back on Twitter and do some likes and stuff like that here in a little while when I get off here. Yeah, Bubba did a great job, but I got completely overlooked, says Lloyd Barnes. Yeah, that's the craziest part about it. Like, who would have ever thought like a Bubba Wallace win would get zero hype? Like, hey, Bubba won a duel. Anyway, let's go over here to Justin Allgaier. Dale Jr. in the 40 car, they got into the Daytona 500. This is a huge story. That is literally exactly what they did. It was pretty wild. Pretty wild. It is what it is. Poll says it all, says Jason Ratcliffe. EJ right now, 75%. The caution button shouldn't work from the and Slap Shoes included that in his tweet as well. The caution button shouldn't work from the time the field exits turn 4 to the time the leader crosses the start finish line. No one even had time to slow down. Pointless caution, says Eric. Yep, I agree with you 100%. Terrible officiating. NASCAR officials, thumbs down, says Outdoor Adventures with Samuel. I think the vast majority, I think at least 75% of the people agree with you. And once again, I want to be fair. I'm not hating on Austin Cindric. Congratulations to him for the win. Letter of the law. You did win. But even when they told him he won the race, did you see his face? He was kind of like, really? Like the initial moment they told him he won the race, you could see his face and he was like, really? So it was pretty wild. Stephen Emilio Jr. saying 1973 was the year. So 1973, the last time that the 43 car won a duel. Agreed, Rupert, says Lloyd Barnes. Eric Jones got screwed. WWF slash NASCAR, says Jen Franklin. Merch link. So there's the merch link. One wise guy dropped the merch link right there. Then no one could find the flag man after the race. Oh, that's the other thing. So even when Austin Cindric won, they didn't wait and give him the flag. My man won a race, a dual race, and he walks. He's over there like he's looking for his mom, lost his mom in Target or Walmart or somewhere. He's like, where's the flag? Where did the flag man go? Like even when that guy wins the race, you still didn't have proper procedure to give the man the damn victory flag. Like, what is going on? Like, this was it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not trying to like whatever, but it was just so bungled. The end of this thing was so bungled. It's not every aspect of it was just so could have been done better. It is what it is, and people that do race control, shout out to you guys. All we ever do when something goes wrong is complain about you. We never talk about you good when you do something good. But by God, you did something wrong this time. So I apologize, but I'm gonna have to go there today. Let's see. The bummer I was referring to was the yellow and the facts of the matter. Says Robert Stone. Indeed, it was a bummer that the way they it was a bummer that there had to be a yellow period, but also a bummer that they threw the yellow when they threw it for sure. Cindric didn't win that race in reality. That was just NASCAR choosing a winner. That's certainly a way of looking at it for sure. I don't think they necessarily picked Cindric on purpose, but the way they called it, they did in a way pick a winner for sure. It should have just let it play out. I agree with you. I know what you're saying there for sure. Someone needs to tell NASCAR officials that the 43 is not a 2311 car, says Escobar. By NASCAR's logic tonight, Mark Martin would have won the 2007. Referring to the Escobar's referring to the lawsuit there. If you didn't get the joke of what he was going for there, my NASCAR logic tonight, Mark Martin would have won the 2007 Daytona 500, says Eric Stipes. Hey, there you go. So by NASCAR's logic, 2007 goes to Mark Martin. 2007 is officially Mark Martin a Daytona 500 winner, according to today's laws or rulings, or how they throw cautions and stuff. Now, what do you think about spotter from Jimmy Johnson and him pitting earlier than planned? He said they either had a fuel pickup issue or he thought he was running out of gas, but that was that was bad. He was running really good. So shout out to the 84 team and Legacy. They were running good up until that point. So had Jimmy Johnson really solidly up there and in there. So unfortunately, just had some bad luck there. But it was good to see a Jimmy Johnson of old, not old Jimmy Johnson that we've been seeing. For all the people that were like, he's washed. For a brief moment, he had recaptured the glory, and he was not washed. Let's see. Another crap call by NASCAR. Way to start 2025, says Roger Trout. Indeed, NASCAR officials are not applying common sense at all. I'm with you, Lloyd Barnes. I don't understand why you didn't hold it for half a beat. Like it wasn't good, in my opinion. What's up, Lovey Barkley? Good to see you on here. Wise guy saying what's up, and so is Lovey to Wise. 43 should have won it, says Lloyd Barnes. Anyone, and 74% agree with Lloyd right now. Anyone want to talk about Chase Elliott's choice to push his buddy in a toy to the checkered flag rather than take the top lane on the white and try to get himself a trophy? I don't know. That's certainly a way of looking at it. I don't know. He might have felt like that was his best chance to get his best starting position. There's all kinds of ways of looking at it. You'd have to ask Chase Elliott about that one. I don't have that access. So that's something maybe somebody will ask him. We'll see. What's going on with these calls for F's sake, says Next Gen. Yeah, it was I don't agree with the call either. I don't agree with them throwing the caution. Now, if you throw the caution in that moment, I do agree with the call of giving it to Austin Cindric in the moment that you throw the caution, but you should have just waited till they crossed the start finish line to throw the caution. So like letter of the law, they got the winner right, but they should have called the caution after they passed the start finish line. It was bungled. It was a bungled call as far as that goes. Tracks need grass. Aesthetically speaking, tracks look better. I hate all these tracks being paved over, says Escobar. Yeah, and what I was saying is you can make a safety argument either way. So it kind of, it is what it is. NASCAR saying this is more safe, so everybody's going to say it's more safe, and the more people say it's more safe, the more it's just going to get in your head that it's more safe. Is it really more safe though? Have they done the actual studies that it's more safe to have pavement there than grass? I don't know that they have. I think it's just something that was sort of like, oh, this is a good idea, let's pave it. Let's see. Wise guy saying hit the like button. If you want to hit the like button, don't feel free to hit it, but don't feel pressured to. Thumbs up to you as well, Jason Radcliffe. I appreciate you, my friend. Those duels were nice, says I love you, Barkley. It was good that the duels had action in them. They didn't just ride around this time. Like they were actually going for something. And some of that was the 10 bonus points that you get for these dual wins and a bonus point for having the fastest lap. That's out there. So technically somebody could have got 11. I haven't seen who had the fastest lap just yet. But there's a point for that as well. NASCAR hired the Chiefs refs for the season, says Mark Barnum. This ain't the first time NASCAR has had the caution 100 yards before the start finish line, says Billy. Yeah, and I was talking about that at the top. And Slap Shoes, I brought it up as well in a tweet. It literally should be studied at how many times they throw the caution flag 100 feet before the start finish line to end a race. It's so bad. Like they've learned nothing. It's like you haven't learned anything. You haven't learned anything. Like it's so bad. I think that's from The Hangover. I think that's Alan from The Hangover. I don't know. 2311 cooked in duel 1, and rest in peace to that Jones boy. Yeah, 2311 had some speed. The Toyotas had speed. Fords had speed, and surprisingly, the Chevrolets weren't that far behind them, and it looked like the Chevrolets were pushing better this year as well. So Mike Joy said it at the end of the broadcast. He said it looks like literally any manufacturer could win this race. So it's going to be a absolute toss-up for the actual race itself. For sure. I tweeted that also about Cindric showing in the face he knows he didn't win after the race. NASCAR is going to NASCAR tweet, says Jason Ratcliffe. I appreciate you, my man. I'm going to find you on there when I get off here. Hopefully I don't forget. I do plan on trying to find you. I'm going to retweet it and hit it with the like button. To be fair, a dual win doesn't mean much, but I digress, says Next Gen. It's 10 points, though, but he did lose 1 point in the process because now he's in second place. But so he technically only loses 1 point, but I mean, the story, like getting Richard Petty in there talking about stuff, it would have been a huge story. So it's unfortunate that we miss out on that. But it's Cindric's. Let's also look at the positives of it. Cindric's first dual win. So congratulations to him. He's continues his. He's really good at. So he continues doing that too. So it is what it is. But I'm not trying to dog out Cindric. I'm trying to say that NASCAR should have made a better call toward the end of the race. Let's see points. The 7-7 win means something, says Barnum. Talking to Next Gen. Mark Barnum's talking to Next Gen, talking about the points mean something. Yeah, I'm thinking grass is a little softer. Mr. Harvick, says Lloyd Barnes. That's what I'm saying. You can always make a counter argument to it, but they're paid by NASCAR, so you know you got to do what you got to do when you're at work. I'm not downgrading them for that, but take what they say with a grain of salt. My buddy Elite Precision made a really good video about that. So check out Elite Precision 29. He's got a video about NASCAR shills. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely check it out. I don't understand why NASCAR throws the caution when the leader's on the front stretch, because everyone is going to have to slow down immediately anyway. So why not just wait 5 seconds more? I'm with you, Lovey. I don't understand it, but they don't care, and they just keep doing what they're doing. Points, trophy, prize money, and bragging rights are all things that matter, says Thunder. So there you go. That's another way of looking at it. What's your thoughts on Briscoe just pulling in the garage? I get that they are guaranteed the pole, but Cindric at least found out what he's got tonight. There's different ways of looking at stuff, and in the past, back in the day, the cars, part of it was because the cars way back in the day were so trimmed out that once you got the pole, you led a bunch of laps, and as soon as you got out of the lead, you just moved up, dropped back, and parked it. So probably that's what the strategy the 19 was going on. He's probably so happy with his race car that he's like, I don't need to know what else it does. I know it's fast. That's probably his mentality. But from just sitting in the seat, sitting in the stands, being a fan, I like what Austin Cindric did. Like, he went out there and raced, and I feel like more fans are going to look at that and be like, that's awesome. Now, I don't think it was necessarily Chase Briscoe's call to do that. So I'm not, trying to downgrade Chase Briscoe. And I'm not trying to downgrade Joe Gibbs Racing or their team. It is certainly a strategy to do that. But I think from the fans' perspective, sitting in the seats, you paid money for that ticket type thing, they're going to appreciate what the 2 car did more than what the 19 car did. And from that aspect, I think the 2 car probably made the better call from a fan's perspective. Business perspective, you can argue it all day. Right. So that's certainly something that can be discussed as far as the business side of it. We got a fast car. We're saving it for we're worried about the Daytona 500. We're not worried about a duel. Daytona 500 pays more money. This is only 80 grand, yada, yada, yada. You can argue that type of stuff or whatever it pays. I don't know what it pays. Let's see. Welcome aboard, Escobar, says Mark Barnum. That comment was tongue in cheek about my man, Chase. However, in the 500, he absolutely would have taken the 16's momentum. onto the third lane, says Jason. Yeah, 500. They're going to get way more aggressive than they got tonight, and they were already chomping at the bit tonight. So it's 100% going to be super interesting. They did run a green white checkered. I turned it off. I thought they might completely bogus, says Ronald Russell. Tracks paved, so they don't have to mow the grass, says PC Gone Rogue. Okay, so from that perspective, if you hate mowing grass, like that's a better argument than the safety argument. I was tired of mowing the grass, so I paved it. What's up, BB? Throwing the yellow with less than 200 feet was so silly. I'm 100% in agreement with you, Chrome Diesel. Good to see you on here, my friend. Was so silly. They learned nothing from last year's 500. I agree. It's like they continue to learn nothing. They just keep doing what they're doing. And us bots just keep complaining because every time you complain about something NASCAR does, we're just bots and they don't pay attention to bots. Amazing how the speed's 10 miles per hour plus faster than qualifying. Yeah, when they get in the train, it's they get that momentum going. It is something to behold. If you've never been to Daytona, I strongly suggest you go to it. If not for a five or Talladega, if not for a 500, go for the. They used to call it the Pepsi 400, but I don't know what they call it now. The Firecracker 400. Let's see. Dumb move. The Fords split the pit stops, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, that was a little weird on the strategy deal. They should have. I'm with you. I think they should have stayed in unison. Just all one Ford there, but I don't know. I'm sure they had something, some type of analytical thing that they looked at, and that was the better move. Imagine if Mark Martin got the 07 500 victory, the way NASCAR is officiating today, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, I think somebody said that earlier too. So yeah, 2007, Mark Martin is officially a Daytona 500 winner for all the Mark Martin fans out there. Let's see, Avalon Band. What's up, my friend? Good to see you on here. Check out Avalon Band on Twitter. Let's see, going to be a fire 500. Racing was great. NASCAR ruined the second duel 43. Got a run, fam. Looking forward to the 2025. 43 was fast today, man. I'm looking forward to them having some speed this season. They had such a bad season last year that it's good to see them run good this year. Felt super bad for Eric. Nothing worse than thinking you won and celebrating and finding out you didn't, says Robertson. Yeah, it was bad, man. Like he parked on the front stretch. He was trying to do the victory interview. He was trying to get the flag. And then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, you didn't win." According to what we saw on the videotape, you did not win, my friend. So that's bad. It sucks. But great move. He made a great move though. Like he put himself in position. Like it was a great finish to the race. They just didn't let the race finish. NASCAR finished it when NASCAR wanted to finish it, which is what somebody was sort of alluding to earlier, that NASCAR picked the winner. NASCAR actually thinks most people want to see a green-white checkered, says Ronald Russell. Yeah, oh, for sure. They think for TV purposes, for highlight reels and vertical videos, TikToks, Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, they think that's where it's at these days, the highlight reels. We had another great finish, and NASCAR shot it again, says Lovey Barkley. CeeLo, what's up, my friend? CeeLo always streaming the races while they're live. So if you are out of can't see the race for some reason, always check out CeeLo on the live stream, or watch the race in front of you and use CeeLo for the volume. Either way you want to go about it, CeeLo always does a great job and a good dude for sure. He's a Vols fan too, so if you're a Tennessee Vols fan, roll with CeeLo. Or if you're a James Dennis Allen Hamlin in the number 11 car, which I'm sorry, CeeLo, that car looks ugly. And I think you agree with me on that. That's an ugly car. He's also a Denny Hamlin fan. So if you're a Denny Hamlin supporter, also join CeeLo on the go. Penske is strong. The Fords are strong overall, but for sure, Penske's got a lot of speed. And it's good to see over there as well. Escobar, all they have to do is make the patches of grass a little smaller. That way the track keeps the look and can be safer. There you go. A happy medium. Escobar with some reasonable logic here. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can have a little bit of grass there, so you still got the grass look. But once you get past the grass, you've got asphalt to slow you down. Perfect take. That's actually a really good take, because we're for whatever reason on this issue, I had already locked my mind into all or nothing. So I'm glad you had the reasonable take there. Escobar coming through clutch. Appreciate you, my friend. Tiger Woods clutch. Let's see. What's up, one wise guy, says CeeLo. BB, you're right about the leader pulling off in the 70s. When I went to the 125s, the pole sitters would run one lap and pull off, says Bruce Garvey. For sure. You're always back in the day, those things were back when you had sheet metal, those things were trimmed and just perfectly made in a certain way. You didn't want to risk any damage to them. So it is what it is. Quattro, re-upping with the fist bump, my friend, putting my mortgage on the number one to take it with the W for the Daytona 500. So Quattro, the Coors drinking, but he did find some Bush in his region. So he's Bush Light drinking tonight. Uh, Ross Chastain, number one fan, he's putting the house. He said he's going to put the house on the one car for the Daytona 500. Not a bad pick. I like the pick. The one car going underrated, going underreported, but it was a fast car tonight, no doubt about it. We saw 196 miles per hour tonight. We are definitely flipping a car in the 500 with those speeds, says Lovey Barkley. Yeah, and that's going to be the interesting thing. If you flip a car, even though you have the thing paved on the infield, what are you going to say then? Because they flipped them last year and the infields were paved. I think it was at Michigan, wherever Josh Berry flipped. I can't remember it off the top of my head. 196 isn't fast enough, says Next Gen. Jeremy Heath, what's up, my friend? Hello to you as well. Harrison Burton flipped at 120, says Lovey Barkley. T-Van saying CeeLo sucks. What's up, BB and CeeLo and everyone? T-Van, of course, joking. Ugly car for ugly 11 driver. Then he sucks, says Mark Barnum. T-Van, I love you too, says CeeLo on the go. If you guys aren't in the Discord, they troll each other back and forth often about the Denny Hamlin issue. But they are friends, so don't take it serious. It's not real beef. It is what is that? It is impossible beef. It's not real. He didn't finish that. Did I just coin something there? I don't know. It's impossible beef. It's not real. He didn't finish and read my DEI comment. LMAO says Escobar. Let's see. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. We do miss them, Escobar. Billy Vose, what's up, CeeLo? T-Van, I'll send you my purple FedEx hat. Yo, Billy says, CeeLo. Also, that new scheme for the number one is beautiful, says Quattro. Yeah, Trackhouse very rarely misses with the paint schemes. They do a good job on that. Easy fix. Paint the asphalt to look like grass, says Joseph. But you would have to paint it with that tacky paint because the paint would be slicker than the actual asphalt. So there's all kinds of stuff to look about. CeeLo, I need a new toilet. Talking about the hat deal. PC gone rogue. Was it last year that two cars flipped on pavement back-to-back weeks? Says PC. Yep, that was last year for sure. PC. Jeremy Heath saying impossible Whopper, impossible beef. I know I said NASCAR must have a lot of DE hires, not Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Escobar says so. He's blaming it on the hires or the hiring process or whatever. What's up, CeeLo, says Lloyd Barnes. And what's up, Lloyd, says on the go with CeeLo. Going to hang out here for just a minute. We're at the end of the chat, but I'll hang out here for another minute. See if you guys want to talk about anything else. But that was pretty much it. This is the initial reaction to the deal. Who should have won? EJ, 77%. The two car at 23%. So it looks like that's pretty much an academic deal right there. Denny needs UPS for a sponsor. So that's an interesting point. UPS, much like, Hershey's could have done with Kyle Busch, could have done the funniest thing ever. UPS could do the funniest thing ever, even if it's only for a couple races. Go sponsor Denny Hamlin for a few races, just so Denny Hamlin is now the UPS guy and no longer the FedEx guy. That would be the ultimate move. Like that would be so funny. Same thing with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch could be sponsored by Hershey's or Reese's or somebody. Reese's already has a relationship previously with RCR. That would be the biggest troll in the world to M&M's for dropping Kyle Busch. So companies need to think about this and play into this because fans love stuff like this. People love drama. Look at YouTube. People love drama channels. So maybe companies need to take a look at maybe UPS take a look at sponsoring Denny Hamlin if it's only for a couple races. Same thing with Hershey's, Reese's, whoever wants to sponsor Kyle Busch. It would be I think it would be an overall win marketing strategy wise. But I don't know. I don't really care about that stuff either. So take my advice with a grain of salt. They got people in place to ruin those companies without me ruining them for them. Like dislike need a mark on the track after passing this point. It's race back to the checkered flag. Says like dislike. Don't worry, NASCAR would find a way to mess that up too. So I don't know. We NASCAR just needs to use common sense. Like that's the only thing that should happen. Should NASCAR I know it's a big ask. But I believe they can do it one day. Should NASCAR let them race the line when they crash in the tri-oval, says Timber Race? Well, typically when they crash in the tri-oval, yeah, because I mean there's going to be no time to slow up anyway because the tri-oval is typically really close to the start-finish line. So I mean, Yeah, as long as it's because your last lap, that would be your last lap. So otherwise, they would throw it immediately because you get a green, white, checkered. So yeah, let them race. If it's the last lap, let them race back because nobody would really be. You couldn't slow down enough in the tri oval if it happened in front of you anyway. So yeah, I'd be okay with just racing back to the flag there. I don't think it would be a real safety issue. I believe Daytona owes Larson and the C's should automatically part for him on the last lap, says Escobar. That would be nice. It's not his strongest track. I'm just hoping for non-disaster on Sunday. Why do you think NASCAR drivers don't get biopic movies like the F1 drivers do? Like I know a ton of F1 drivers from the 80s because of their movies. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. Hollywood has not really touched NASCAR, seriously touched NASCAR since Days of Thunder. Comedically, they touched NASCAR with, Ricky Bobby, the Ballad of Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Is that the full title of it? That's the last time Hollywood was even interested. Both of those movies did well. Hollywood hasn't revisited it. I don't know. I couldn't answer that question, but it's a great question. You're right though. Like F1, they've got this juggernaut media thing that keeps them going. But NASCAR, they don't push it. So we'll see. NASCAR has their own media thing now, so hopefully they'll get that ball rolling and get up to speed with what F1's doing from a media standpoint. John Hunter Nemechek was pretty tame tonight, says one wise guy. He's saving it all up for the big one. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully he's matured and gotten better. But hopefully this is a sign of things to come. The big brown truck, Hamlin. Don't give T Van any ideas. Says CeeLo on the go. The field is set, guys. Pumped for Sunday, says Chris. Indeed. T Van laughing at CeeLo. Unfortunately, after the Daytona and Craplana, Larson will be around 25th in points, says Escobar. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, he can make it through both of them. Atlanta might be different because the track is aged enough that it might not just be a complete and total drafting fest over there. It might have a different super speedway look than it has in previous years. Do you think they race on the scheduled time on Sunday? Fingers crossed. I hope so, my friend. John P, what's up, my friend? Let's see. Once again, using common sense. If the crash happens on the front stretch, they're still going to be wrecking at the line. So it's not like anyone is going to be parked on track. That's true. That's true. So, I mean, yeah, once again, it's just a common sense deal, but it is what it is. The raw feed was horrible, says CeeLo on the go. If you look at Hollywood box office, they make a good amount of money overseas. Maybe why F1 is a better look for them. Maybe that has something to do with it too. Did anybody ever find that flag man? Says Lloyd Barnes. That's a good question. I don't know. I couldn't. I couldn't tell you necessarily if they did or not. Let's see. John P has some more fan fiction, so I'm going to read that real quick, and then we're going to jump off here. Hey, BB, I was on the toilet dropping a quench when that last lap happened whilst quenching out 9 Costco hot dogs. I ate today. I got so mad I passed out when Cindric was the winner. I'm so mad. It is what it is. So like the King Elvis on the toilet, John P passed out, but luckily he's still here with us. He was able to fight through it and make it back. John P with the fan fiction, as always. If NASCAR pulls crap like they did tonight overseas, they will be kicked out of that country, says Escobar. I still haven't seen the end of the race yet. I guess I better start searching for that. Yeah, look for the end of Duel 2 is the one that everybody's talking about, T-Van. The end of Duel 1, everybody got a little heated with the 10 car because he backed up the top row. But other than that, Ty Dillon actually had a pretty good race. I would say a lot of people were probably surprised, but this is definitely the best equipment Ty Dillon in the Cup Series has ever been in. So we're going to find out this season. He's the only man that's driven in the Cup Series for like a decade, and we just don't know if he can drive or not yet because he hasn't been in good equipment. But he's in the best equipment he's ever been in. So we're going to find out what he's got this year. So it's going to be an interesting side story to track. But all right, final results of the poll question. Who should have won? EJ, 70%. Eric Jones. Austin Cindric, 24%. And that's the way it falls. And that's the way this one goes. One more here. 43 starts fourth. Same spot. He would have, if he would have won, says like, dislike. All right. That's it for this one. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.